My agenda first is to put the Adivasi heritage back on the table by reminding, firstly, the Adivasis themselves that your identity and your heritage is linked directly to your land. The moment you lose your land, you're no longer an Adivasi. Forget it. There goes your legacy, there goes your heritage. That is going to be my one and only agenda, because once they realize that, others will also realize that yes, this is not our land, this is their land. I'm not saying don't use it for industry, I'm not saying don't use it for development, but you have to do it with the concurrence and this thing of the owner of that land. My election strategy for me, I tell you, as an Adivasi, my most important possession is my ownership of my land. And that is the one thing I'm going to bring forward and point out the importance of land to the Adivasi. You see, when there's a social shift from being totally agrarian to partially industrial, the human greed for goods, for commodities increases. And they forget that their ability to buy and own those goods will come from their ownership of their land. And they sacrifice that. Today what happens, you see a number of cases of kids, fighting with their parents, selling off land to buy a motorcycle and a mobile. How long does that last? 10 years? 5 years? And then it's over. Land is with you forever, and that's your identity. There's this case of Khunti village in HEC where the assembly building is being built. The government has forcibly taken the land, built the assembly, and today they do not have their khatiyan, so they cannot claim their Avasya Praman Patras, their residential certificate, because they've got no proof. If they've got no proof, they're not Adivasis. What are they? When I talk about land rights, that I am the owner of my land, government is not the owner, and you're going to call that sedition, which is now being done, I would very happily be called a seditionist, because that is the truth. I am the owner of this land, the government is not the owner of this land. We are part of the Union of India by choice. And you should not make that choice a joke or ridicule it. It's a simple thing. We were here before all this thing started off. We have our rights. Aboriginal rights across the world are now being recognized finally, much to the discomfort of the colonizers. I am dead against transferring land. You want to build a road, you please hire his land. Who uses that road? Not the Adivasi. It's that truck fleet owner whose trucks are going on that road carrying goods and things for other people. But they have to cross his expensive land. He's earning a fortune doing that. Why can't a share of that be given to the Adivasi whose land you're using? Why do you have to alienate him from his land? Today, the Bihari, and I'm saying it very clearly, acted like colonizers when the state of Bihar was there. Government of India acts like a colonizer. Where are you upholding the rights of the Adivasis? The Biharis steamrolled over us through this majoritarianism, not enforcing any law. Every thana you go to from Bihari times has a mandir in it. How can I, as an Adivasi, go into a place which believes in a different God and expect justice? When I see a mandir coming up in some area, what land is it? It is Adivasi land. Whose job is it to protect the land? The government. Why are we paying taxes to the government? It's for protection. Now, if the government says, okay, we are not going to give you protection, then let us go back to our bows and arrows as Birsa did. And as other protectors of Adivasi did before Birsa. He's not the only one. You cannot, use that term for the greater good. The greater good ensures annihilation of the smaller cultures, the smaller identities, the term we use, which I dislike, minorities.